What is up, guys? It's your boy VB Lightning back at it again with another video, and in today's video we are going over what is better for Rainbow Six Siege in Year 7, PlayStation or Xbox. And guys, I recently went back to Xbox for a little while, been playing PlayStation almost my whole life, so I do have a good understanding of both consoles, but we will mostly be focusing on the cheating because that's the real big difference. So what happened was, in September of last year, the Crystal Guard update came out, and Sony somehow made it to where that you can only use a PS5 controller to play Siege on the PS5 version of the game, okay? And that patched Zim. So you could not use a Zim in September of 2021 during the release of Crystal Guard on PS5. This did not completely patch Zim with PlayStation. If you still had the PS4 or wanted to play the PS4 version of the game on the PS5, you could do that and have a Zim connected, okay? But you just cannot have a PS5 controller plugged into the Zim during that time period, which was the Crystal Guard release in September. At the beginning of Crystal Guard, there were well-known clans that were mouse and keyboard, like ATK, for example, that switched to Xbox to play 120 frames per second on Rainbow Six Siege and used their mouse and keyboard. So for that small period of time, there was a lot less Zims and mouse and keyboard players on PlayStation, okay? But I can confidently say now, Year 7 Season 1, they found a way around that, and that you can play Zim on the PS5 version of the game. So when I'm talking about the Xbox versus PlayStation and what's better, you have to look into the mouse and keyboard thing. And right now, there are less mouse and keyboard players. I can confidently say there are less mouse and keyboard players on PlayStation than there is on Xbox. And I do think what had to do with it was, for that small period of time, Zim was patched on PS5. Right now, M&K on Xbox is a lot more popular, and there's a lot more M&K cheaters on Xbox than there is on PlayStation. The second part of the cheating I want to talk about is Elo trapping, okay? Elo trapping is basically where you get a bunch of Xboxes and you queue against yourself on dead servers, and that makes you able to play a bunch of matches and gain a bunch of Elo in like 5-minute matches. Okay, so that's how you see people already hitting #1 champion in the first day of the season when they have 100 matches played and they already have like 7,000 MMR. That's how they do it, okay? You guys may be wondering that, oh, I don't see any of these Elo trappers on R6 Tracker. I don't see anybody having all these games played in the first day of the season. Well, R6 Tracker does not show or feature Elo trappers. They put 2 and 2 together and say that somebody has 100 wins and 0 losses. They're not going to feature them on their leaderboard. So for reasons I don't know, there are only Elo trappers on Xbox, okay? There are no Elo trappers on PlayStation, and I honestly have no idea why that is, okay? With the cheating on both Xbox and PlayStation, it is very clear that PlayStation has less cheaters, and if you want to avoid the cheaters as much as possible, then PlayStation is the way to go when playing Rainbow Six Siege. I do want to reiterate that PlayStation isn't just free of cheating. There are M&K users on PlayStation. There are just not as many as Xbox has, and there are no Elo trappers on PlayStation. So that makes PlayStation just the better console to avoid cheating on. So we went through the cheating problem and we compared PlayStation and Xbox, and it's very clear that PlayStation is the better console to avoid cheating on, okay? Now we are going to talk about the player base on PlayStation and Xbox. There are more PlayStation players than there are Xbox, so that naturally makes it harder to be #1 on PlayStation than it is on Xbox. But going back to the cheating thing, there are less cheaters on PlayStation than there is on Xbox, so a legit controller player on Xbox is going to have a harder time trying to hit number one or trying to hit the rank they want when they are facing a bunch of M&K players. In the end, you really can't say what's the harder console for Rainbow Six Siege. Yes, PlayStation has a bigger player base on the game, but Xbox, if you're a legit controller player, you're going to run into more cheaters than you would on PlayStation. There really isn't too big of a difference between Xbox Siege and PlayStation Siege. But I wanted to make today's video to basically say that PlayStation is the better console to play Siege on here in Year 7 Season 1, okay? So if you're buying a console right now to play Siege on mostly, PlayStation is the way to go with that, okay? There are less cheaters, there are no Elo Trappers, and that's really just a big difference, okay? There isn't really too many other differences. There's a bigger player base, but you really can't say what console's harder, okay? So the big difference is the cheating, and that's what we mostly touched on in today's video. If you guys like today's video, you got to make sure you like the video, and you got to make sure you subscribe if you are not already, and I'll see you guys next time.